Welcome, dear students. The current session focuses on the spread of English worldwide. I hope and expect that by the end of this session, you would have some know-how of the nature of this spread. Well, my dear students, today English is not the language of the British only. It has a worldwide currency. Look around. Look around yourself, look around at the world, look at the media, and you would find English everywhere. In fact, in the various parts of the former British Empire, as in the United States, the English language has developed differences that distinguish it from the language that is used in England and that was developed as a London standard. There are varied varieties in Australia, Africa, South Asia, and Canada. And each of these varieties has its own peculiarities, its own specialities, its own differences, both in terms of pronunciation and vocabulary. Varieties from the dialect of the mother country also exist, and these varieties not only are different from this English I would say, but also they are different from each other. These differences can be examined, and we can notice that they are mainly of two types. A, peculiarities of communities separated by time and space. Where a particular community is located in space, in terms of geographical presentation, and in terms of time, where does, this language use happen. So, that gives it particular features. It influences that. The second type is of the influence of the new environment. When there are changes in the environment of a particular area, with the change in the environment, the language changes. So, same is the case with English. In particular environments, when there were changes in the environment, the new environment would change the language as well. So, my dear students, in some countries, the most striking changes are the result of imperfect learning as well. Sometimes people would go from one area to the other. They would go to another area, and there they would learn English. And in that process, the learning would be imperfect. Sometimes they would be living in their own land, but they would learn it as a foreign language or as a second language or, as a language for specific purposes, and there would be imperfections related to that. Differences of nature and material civilization and generally contact with some foreign tongue are clearly reflected in the vocabulary choices that are made in these varieties. In fact, what I would say is, think of English language in your own context. It is not our first language. It is not the mother tongue of any of us. Well, it is a second language in some cases, or it is a lingua franca. We learn it as a language that is internationally used. So, despite these factors, look at how much of the influence English language has, and also think of the variety that we have and how, it operates in comparison with the standard variety. How in certain pronunciation aspects, how in the sense of, vocabulary, and sometimes even in structure, it is different from the standards that are set otherwise.